it's important to take care of yourself even while home educating. Because like I said, you have the children with you all the time, and it's very difficult to have me time, but you can create it. I started baking as a way of having time to myself over the years while home educating the children. It was very important for me for that to happen, because I also wanted something to do, when I'm not teaching the children, something that can actually make me relax. So my husband actually used to say to me, you need to do something other than the children things, because when they do get older, what are you going to do when you don't teach them anymore? You won't find anything else to do, and you just won't know what to do yourself. So I thought I could think of something that I could do, even when the kids are sleeping, or when he has the kids out or something like that. He actually thought I would like to do something related with home education, but no, I didn't want to. Even though I home educate, it's not something that I would really want to really focus on all the time. So I wanted a downtime from home education and do something different. It took me a while to really think what I would really like to do. So before that, I actually had started baking. I'm making a white sourdough bread right now. I bake all our sourdough bread that we eat in this house. And this was a progression from baking that I did over the years. So then I thought, okay, I like baking. And I decided to start baking. I liked baking because with baking, I can experiment and the children can eat what I bake, and for the family as well. So I had already started baking, and my baking just took me in many different directions. I bake almost everything that there is to bake. Bread, cakes, sourdough. I say sourdough separately from bread because bread people just used to associate it with the commercial yeast. And then the sourdough, I make my own sourdough starter, which I used here. So usually, because I live in England where it's cold, I start my bread the day before. Like right now, this bread will be ready tomorrow. I just put it in the warmest room in the house and start. So trying to think of something that you actually like. If it's something like crocheting, you can crochet. And the thing is, if you have children who do sport, some sport takes a long time. So there's a lot of sitting around. I have a child who plays tennis. So we used to go to tennis tournaments, and I'll take the other children with me. So as he got older, the tournaments were longer, like when he was in yellow ball, and like from 14 and under, they actually get quite longer than usual. Like from mini red, he didn't start from mini red. Some of them started in mini red, but he started in orange ball. And then when they progress to green and red tournaments, it's longer. So if you have a hobby, for example, things that you can actually take, like to crochet, you can actually make quite a lot of things in that time that you're waiting around. And I used to think I don't have time for exercise. I used to think, oh, if the children are older, I could go to the gym, or I wish I could take the kids to the gym with me. And there's no creche, and if there is a creche, it's all for younger children. But the older children didn't have anyone to stay with. So I thought, oh, I can't do any exercise at all until the children are older, or if I have someone to leave them with. But I realized I had a lot of time sitting around when I went to tournaments or took them for practice. Let's say my son had tennis coaching, for example. I'll be sitting there in the car waiting for them to finish. Then one day I said to myself, instead of me sitting in the car waiting, why don't I use this time for exercise? So I started taking walks. During their tennis coaching. And I really fitted in my exercise during the time, and I actually noticed I had way too much time, because if someone's coaching for 2 hours, then I don't even go for a walk for that long. So I'd actually come back and then sit down, and then read a book or do something else, even catch up with my social media. That was the time that I could do these things. So use your time wisely and, take some time. So now I've covered my sourdough bread. I leave it now for about an hour, and then I'll come and stretch and fold it to smooth it. As you can see, it's quite a bit bumpy. I'll come back and I'll show you. Smooth it. I just did once, stretching and folding, it's just to come smooth. It may seem impossible to have a hobby while home educating, but it's not really. Once you get into the hang of things and you get into a proper routine, it's actually possible to have time to yourself. If your kids are younger, you can have a very strict bedtime. I did that for quite a while with the children, because they wake up very early. I had a very, very strict bedtime that by 7 o'clock, they should be in bed. Whether they sleep or not, that's another issue. Even if it takes them another hour before they actually sleep. But that was the time for me to sit down with my husband, have dinner while the children are in bed, and just catch up before I actually went to bed myself. So it's very important to do that. And for your hobbies, you can do them in between certain stuff. You've woken up, you've done your thing, you've done most of your sit-down learning, in between other things, even while the children are watching something, you can have your hobby time there. I remember when I first started baking, I would wake up early in the morning, because I wake up in the morning and I pray and I don't go back to sleep. So I used that time to record my videos, and then by the time the children wake up, I've already finished my recording for the day. The next morning, when I'm not recording my videos, I then edit them early in the morning, and then by the time the children wake up, have breakfast, I've already finished editing, and in some cases uploading as well. If I don't get a chance to upload, then I would upload the following day, but all that was done in the morning. So this is going to rise until it's risen, however long it takes. Okay, so this was rising overnight. I'm going to shape it now and put it in my banneton, and then put it in the fridge. So to have time to yourself while home educating, you have to be very, very, very intentional about it. Because if you're not, you will get burnout. So if your children are young, have very strict bedtimes and stick to them. Even if they stay in the room before they actually sleep, it gives you a moment to just relax before you actually go to bed. So have a strict bedtime, maybe 7 o'clock. And then you have a few hours to yourself before you go to bed to do things that you like, enjoy, or just to relax. So I'm stretching and folding this to get into a ball, into a tight ball, before I put it in the banneton. This just helps keep its shape better. Okay. Like that. In my banneton, I'm going to, there's rice flour in it. Just going to add a bit more. This stops it from sticking. Gluten-free flour is the best flour to use, from my experience. It doesn't stick. So I put it in there. Add more rice flour. And then leave it. Okay, my sourdough has been in the fridge for a few hours, and I find this gives a better rise and oven spring when you put it in the fridge to firm up, and it's also easier to score. I bake mine in an enamel roaster. I've got this enamel roaster with my greaseproof paper, which I've used a few times already. and I'll use it until I can't use it anymore. So now I need to flip my bread into the roaster. So I put this paper on top, the baking paper, get my enamel roaster, put it over this, and then flip it. All these brown marks on my enamel roaster are all from baking and using it frequently. You know, when you buy it white, you never expect this to happen, but it's well used and it has that. It happens even with the lid. I didn't think it happened, but it does. So now I'm going to score it. I like to score it to control exactly how it raises when it's in the oven, or how it rises while it's in the oven. So I'm just going to do a simple score, just a cross or a plus, whatever way you want to look at it. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to put it in the oven for about 45 to 50 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius. And I bake it with the lid on top. So I put it together in the oven like this.